welcome to this episode of NaturaLawn of America Franchise Spotlight. And we're going to go to McHenry, Illinois, and talk to Trevor Foss, the owner of the NaturaLawn franchise there. Trevor, how you doing?
I can't complain. Just getting in from doing some aeration, so a little dirty, but that's part of the gig.
So your journey is a little bit different than others. You were a pro baseball player, and because of your uncle becoming ill, and then unfortunately passing away, you found yourself not only assisting him during that process of working in the franchise to eventually becoming the owner. Talk a little bit about that, and I do know you own it with your brother Trent, so I want to mention him. But talk a little bit about how you got involved in NaturaLawn early on.
Yeah, I'll give you the abridged version here. I was actually in St. Paul, Minnesota at the time, and got a phone call that my uncle was sick. Not a lot of details of what it was. It ultimately ended up being glioblastoma, and the original diagnosis was like 6 weeks to 6 months. And so obviously devastating news for my family. He had two small at the time children, and they lived locally here. And this business was his passion. Glioblastoma does a lot of things to that individual as far as, cognizance and physical ability and all that. But when things started to deteriorate, it was limited, but we would always try to get him into the office. And on those days when he would come into the office, the smile on his face, the glow, like you could just tell it was a different day. And that's something that he always remembered. And just from that alone, we were very close before all of this, and we're aware of how much this meant to him. But seeing how happy he was on days when he got to come in really showed how much he cared about it. And so it was our initial plan to make sure that he felt a part of this for as long as we possibly could make that happen. And thankfully, the chemo and all that started to kind of wane. And thankfully, there was another option for treatment. And he got to hang around for, I think he lived 2.5 years after his diagnosis, which was awesome for us, but especially for his kids, who were at a pretty influential part of their life with, getting driver's license, getting into high school, graduating those kind of things that are monumental in a developmental stage. So that their dad was there for that meant a lot to them. And then, you get to that point where it's been 2 years since you've thrown a ball and ran or did any of those things that are required to participate in high level athletics, and there was just no going back. And so but
you love the customers. You like taking care of the customers and seeing the smiles.
It's the easy part for me, right? That's the part I enjoy. That has been something that I've always wanted to pursue, was something that I can do to make somebody's day better. Just the smiles, exactly. Like when you go and you make a difference, and this has been a nagging issue for them, and they just couldn't get it figured out, and then you can figure it out quick. That's the most rewarding part for me. Don't go look at my transcripts. My academic career was subpar, and never once did I take a business class or anything like that. It's not been something that's motivated me. Money, I know this is probably a terrible thing to say, isn't a big motivator for me.
You like helping people.
I like human interaction. I do. And if it's a positive interaction, everyone benefits from it. And that's why I still go out in the field. I'm like I said, I'm coming in from doing some aerations. I enjoy the physical work. I enjoy the interaction with the people. And, it was a little bit of baptism by fire for me. And
Sure.
You get all of this knowledge that you never had any intention of acquiring. And it's like, well, what good would it be if I didn't share it with the people that are trying to better their property and make their lawn look good, and all of those things that maybe they don't pursue and I never had any intentions of? Well, now I have the tools to help them, and that feels really good.
So talk a little bit about the support that you receive from your franchise business consultant in the home office. Were you surprised about the level of support that you receive not only from the onboarding process, but through the life of the franchise now that you and your brother are the owners?
Well, yeah, and I'll drop some names here because I can tell you with 100% confidence that the Chicago or McHenry branch does not exist without John Steiner.
He's a franchise business consultant, been with the company for, 27 years, 28 years.
Legend of a person, just a great dude. And man, thank God we all have unlimited minutes, because that first couple of years, I was calling him 10, 20 times a day, just trying to figure it out. Because when I decided that I was going to do this with my brother, it was spring. Well, there's no time for like proper, it's go time. We got services that need to be done. And so I would go out into the field and just, try to pick things up. And every time I had a question, I would call John and he was there. That has been, especially on the agronomic side of things, awesome. Sean is our current, what do you guys call them? They're not regionals anymore.
Franchise business consultants.
Bingo. One of them. He's been awesome, especially on the business side of things. So it's both elements are required to run this company successfully. You need to know what you're doing in the field. You need to know what you're doing behind a desk. And I feel very fortunate to have two tools that are both available at a phone call, a text message, whatever. And I have any questions, I can get answers in a quick manner. And it's made a lot of really stressful situations less stressful.
All right. Well, Trevor, I want to thank you for joining us on NaturaLawn of America Franchise Spotlight, and we wish you many years of success.
Yeah, thank you. This is really cool what you're doing.
All right. Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you.